Start, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come. The introduction thing again.
Okay. Yeah.
Hi, I'm 𝗀𝗺𝗧
Hi, I'm Pheng Chew.
So in today's episode, we have Pheng Chew here again, who's a prosecutor in Bank Negara Malaysia, to tell us his story on exactly what does a prosecutor in Bank Negara Malaysia do. So as an introduction, could you tell us how exactly did you end up as a prosecutor in the first place?
Okay. So I was a bank scholar, so I have to go back to work in the bank, and I was interested in legal department. Right. I want to be a lawyer. I want to start off my career doing law. Right. So they placed me in the prosecution unit.
Oh. So when we talk about this prosecution unit in Bank Negara Malaysia, in your opinion, when a person talks about this kind of career, what should come in mind then?
Prosecution naturally is to the criminal side already, right? They prosecute. The powers of the prosecutor come from the Attorney General Chambers, right? Which is so let's say next time you learn the principle of alter ego, which DPP is the alter ego of the public prosecutor. Public prosecutor derives his prosecution powers from the Constitution, right, of Malaysia, right? So as an in-house prosecutor in the bank, right, I have a authorization letter from the public prosecutor to conduct prosecution in the court, right? The reason in which the prosecutors in the bank were conferred the power is because we are stationed in the bank, so we naturally understand more on Bank Negara Administered laws. So we can prosecute better. We can do a better job in the court. We only specialize in the Bank Negara Administered laws.
Oh, in that sense, you mean that you are only given delegated powers to prosecute on financial matters?
Bank Negara Administered laws. Because financial matters might be Securities Commission matters. Yes, but ours is Bank Negara Administered. Securities Commission, they have their own prosecutors.
Oh, could you elaborate on to us what are Bank Negara Administration things?
Okay, so the Bank Negara Administered laws, we have the Money Services Business Act, which the money changers, money remitters, or the wholesale currency business. Right. Then we have the Financial Services Act, right, which encompasses the banks, the regulations, the laws which regulate the banks, right. Then we have the Financial Services Act also have the insurance companies too, right? We regulate the insurance company as well, right? Then we have the Central Bank of Malaysia Act 2009, and other Bank Negara Administered laws.
Oh, I see. Then what aspects of this entire thing appeals to you then, being as a prosecutor in Bank Negara Malaysia?
Which appeals to me.
What do you personally find interesting about the job?
I'm more interested in hands-on job. So I'm more interested in being a litigation lawyer. I did not know that in university. Like what I explained to you a moment ago, that I didn't want to be a barrister. Back in university, I wanted to be a solicitor. But coming back to Malaysia, right, I'm like, I feel like doing litigation. Because I want to go to court and I want to argue. I want to advocate on it. I don't really like the court per se, right? I didn't really like the value in it, but I enjoy advocating for my client.
So
applying
this concept onto the prosecution, that's what appeals to you,
Yes, and because you see, I think that application part, right, requires a lot of intellectual process too, and I enjoy that.
It's mentally stimulating for you,
Yes.
See. Then when you speak of all this, right, how does a day at work sound like?
A day at work, okay, so you might be surprised. That during the start, I think I was training myself to peruse the investigation papers, and I think because the team also knows that this guy hasn't done any evidence law or criminal procedure, so I think they took some time to prep me to make sure I'm okay, to fit they're quite helpful in teaching me some of them.
So it's like, so how do I think of that? Like, because you have not experienced that much on the criminal procedure and the evidence, so usually you just handle.
Oh, so I learn on the job.
Oh, you learn on the
I
job.
learn on the job, and I learn on the job. I read that and I produce the IPs, then go to court, do conduct proceedings.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice. Then from all these like, what challenges do you think like strike you the most?
Challenges.
Yeah.
Oh, because see, prosecutors we only have authorization letter, right? So if we were to go to High Court, right, we need to be accompanied by the DPPs.
Oh.
Yes, we are only prosecuting officers, right? So prosecuting officers, we can only go to Sessions Court or Magistrate Court alone, right? And in Malaysia, Sessions Court and Magistrate Court use Bahasa Malaysia. In Cambridge, I never learned law in Bahasa Malaysia. I was from Chinese school, I did A-level, which is completely in English, and I went to university, which is completely in English as well. So that is one of the challenges.
To speak
Speak Malay. Yes.
Have you found specifically like? Then could you tell us more on the first appearance in your court then?
My first appearance, I was very nervous. My first appearance in court, Malaysia court, is in Seremban Sessions Court. I still remember, right? And actually we met the judge, right, in the chambers before, like courtesy call, then we met her in the chambers. After that, we went on to the court. But on that, one day prior to that day, right, I was prepped already what to say with my manager. So I know everything already. I know I rehearse already. So on that day I just do everything, but it's not so smooth. It's not as smooth as I can do it now, because that was my first time. The person, the accused person pled guilty, so really, there's no bail to do. I just tender all the. It's not it's not difficult, but I have to be careful. You have to comply with the proceedings. You will not want one proceeding is not complied because the prosecuting officer missed out that, and then later the accused make it an issue and challenge it. And that will be
appeal already.
So they appeal, or they check the appeal against the sentence and stuff. You will have a lot of other stories, and you wouldn't want that. You want to keep it simple, close it.
And speaking of that, like, have you ever had to handle cases up to the point of jurisdictions of the High Court or Federal Court?
No. Not yet. I only went to the Sessions Court. So that I think because of that, the exposure is pretty limited. It's very limited. First of all, prosecuting officer, I only go to Sessions Court. Second thing is, I'm only exposed to Bank Negara Administered laws. So I think that kind of limit the entire exposure.
Then when you speak of this, right, like, what's your definition of success then in this phase of life? Like, what would you?
In this phase, in our phase, first of all, do what you want to do. Our phase, I don't think you should really go for the money, right? You should go for as much. Money is one thing, it's important for you to keep on, to live on, right? You have needs, right? Or you have something, you need money to do it, right? You have to buy food for accommodation, buy car and stuff. But you should really emphasize on your career prospect, how to grow your career, which direction you want to grow. You are responsible. I mean, people are responsible for their own career, right? So if you feel a place in which you have like limited prospect, right, just go on to a place in which you will drive your prospect further.
In that case, like, what's your personal plan on achieving this kind of success?
Personal plan, my personal plan, I think, is to right now do more cases, because the law is not like medicine, right? Where you have to specialize. You have to specialize. Let's say you have to specialize in orthopedic. You're going to be an orthopedic surgeon. You have to take tests, take examination, qualify yourself to the master's program, then take the orthopedic surgeon as soon as possible, then qualify yourself as a surgeon, then move on to private economics. Law is not like that. Law, you don't have to take many papers unless you want to be an international arbitrator, right? So you have to take papers. But aside from that, you just need to do more cases, right? Do more cases. Let's say you are interested in taxation law, right? Next time, this is quite far away from you because right now it's still A levels, right? I wouldn't want to burden you too much with all this knowledge, Right now, you just need to do well in your exam and get on to where you want to get on, right? Step by step, right? So, if you reach my stage, right? Let's say you want to do taxation, so you just do more cases on taxation, do as well as possible on taxation. Then from there you learn on the job. If you want to do construction practice, then you do more construction, do more, then you learn on the job. If you want to do a lot of you become general litigation, right? Lawyer, so you just do more like land matters, fraud and asset recovery, probing. You just do more cases involving all these matters.
Yes. From there, like I will go on to my last and final question. From there, like what advice would you give them to like aspiring law students like me and all so on?
Aspiring law students
and current law students as well.
Current law students, like I say, do well in your exam. Yeah, study hard, but most importantly, enjoy what you study. You have to enjoy the process as well. Then be active in other events, like what you're doing right now. I think it's pretty impressive. Like it's quite special, right? From your stage, your stage right now, and you interview people like myself and a lot of people much more senior than myself. I think that is pretty impressive, right? Because that requires a lot of initiative on your own, Then do just do what you enjoy. Like me, I enjoy sports, so I did a lot of sports. Do mooting competition, do join mooting competitions, organize events. I think from then on, you'll grow.
I see. Oh, that's the end of it.
Right, thank you a lot.
Thanks
Thanks a lot for having me.
Welcome.
I'm honored.